We have around 340 million companies. So we are somewhere a company providing business information of companies worldwide.
Today, I have the pleasure to welcome in the studio Johan, Bierebeeck, the country director of GraydonCreditsafe Luxembourg. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Jerome, for the invitation.
Yes, and it's not just an interview here, it's also the announcement of a partnership between 360 Cross Media and GraydonCreditsafe. You are specialized in data, and we have a partnership together for the Luxembourg official top 150, which will allow us to generate new type of list all year long. For example, the most profitable companies of the country, the fastest growing companies of the country, or some topical list, for example, about construction, where people will be able to discover through hard data the state of our economy. I'm delighted to have this partnership with your company. So let's go into the interview now. Can you present GraydonCreditsafe in a few words?
GraydonCreditsafe is an international group present in around 20 countries with a data factory where we combine global database with local intelligence. And that's what we are doing in Luxembourg. They bought a database from Editus. And we are combining now the local intelligence, knowing how and what data is available in Luxembourg, how can we collect it, the Luxembourg Business Register, and we combine it with a global database of 200 countries. We have around 340 million companies, so we are somewhere a company providing business information of companies worldwide.
And this is why I was so interested about your company. I spend a lot of time on lbr.lu. People often don't understand that there's a wealth of public data available for free. You just get on LBR, you log in as an anonymous visitor, and you can see how profitable, the debt, a lot of things about any company. But your company is aggregating all this and allowing people to do some specific searches, maybe get some ratings on specific companies.
Yeah, that's right. We are collecting that kind of information and we are doing analysis on it, with the goal to help companies to better understand who they are doing business with. I always say it, know your partner. You normally you say know your client, but okay, know your partner because it's only on the supplier side. Know who you are doing business with. What is the financial health? Who is behind the company? Where is the company located? The company exists since when? And so on, so that you are sure that you have a reliable, trusted partner where you are doing business with.
Yes, because it's a more and more a double game. You want to get new clients, but you also want to get paid. So of course, when you onboard a new client, you really want to make sure that you're getting somebody who will actually pay its invoices a few weeks or months later. So what role, more generally, is data playing in corporate compliance?
When you do compliance, first of all, what you need is a good software to do that, okay? To do it fluently, to not lose a lot of time collecting information. The goal there is we are helping companies with that kind, the information. When you are looking to a company, you have to see who are the directors. Are there PEPs on the company, on the directors? You have to see who's behind the company, the beneficial owner of the company. What is the financial health of the company? What is their business? To see if there is risk for fraud and so on and so on. So we are helping companies on the data challenge that they have to collect all this data and to keep it up to date. Because that's another point. You collect data. Normally people are putting it in manually, losing a lot of time. And then after that, you have to update the information. There are publications every day, for example, changing of board directors and so on and so on. With the help of our company, you can do and automate it, and you can see and can be alerted within 72 hours that there is a change of directors, so that you can react and review the file completely and to be compliant with the regulation.
And this is why I signed the partnership with you, because for the last 2 years, every summer, we were crawling the LBR. It takes a lot of time, but then you only get the raw data and you can then only start doing the analysis game. And as you know, people are posting their numbers from last year, sometimes very late in the year. So with a partner like you, we basically get in real time from the LBR. You mentioned the beneficial owners. Huh?
Yeah.
2 years ago, we could get the register of
Yes.
beneficial owners, but now if I try to log in, I cannot anymore. What is the state of the regulation right now? What can you disclose? What can you access?
For the moment, we don't have any access anymore. We had access till the end of October last year, but okay, then the register closed our access because they are telling us that we couldn't access the information. So we had some impact in the company because we had some banks clients who asked this information to us to help them to keep the information up to date. And okay, we have to stop the contract with them. So
but in terms of KYC, if a bank is now seeing some guy coming in, is it all based now on a declarative basis? How can a bank check who are the true beneficial owners of a company?
First of all, you have the register. They can access to the register. Bank can access. They can look at it. There is no API, but okay, they can look at it and they can collect information. Once they have the information, they have to challenge the information. Because okay, it's not because it's in the register. You can it's the responsibility of the company who do the declaration. But okay, it's not because in the register that it's correct. So you have to challenge the data. You have to check with the client if it's true what is published in the register.
Absolutely.
So you have to double check. That's clear.
Yeah,
you cannot use the register as a single version of the truth. You have to check and verify.
Absolutely, and that's a big issue right now with regulation. We know that the burden of the responsibility is, for example, on the bank, which explains also why most of the times they just don't want to deal with it anymore. It's too risky. If you say you have a beneficial owner in America, it goes under FATCA, they will just say, sorry, not for us, go to our competitor. And of course, this is a very sad news for the Luxembourgish economy. I'm sure in the coming months and years, we're going to see some evolutions, maybe a central database at the state level, I don't know. But right now, it's a little bit difficult, I think, for banks to comply with the regulations and take the burden of this risk.
That's one of the reasons why we are on the market, because okay, we try to help the banks in that work, heavy work. It takes a lot of time to do that. We are doing it, and we try to share the cost of it. If we are a lot of clients, we can share the cost to do.
You can mutualize
the cost of.
Yes, if so every bank is doing the research,
and the information is immediately available. Let's say 24 hours, you connect, you have the information immediately.
Absolutely.
So you have a view on the company already.
And specifically, we talked about the data collection, but then of course you add some layers of services. So how are your services helping companies be more efficient?
But data is everywhere in the company. From the start, okay, marketing department, you want to scope, you want to say, okay, what's the scope we are working on? Normally you use data because we are in a data-driven economy.
Absolutely.
You are analyzing the data, you say, okay, that's the scope on which we want to work, and okay, it starts there. And there you start also with, okay, we want contact clients, okay, you will see scoring, risk analysis on it, because you want not to visit a client where you are not sure to be paid. So you start with that. Marketing, then you do the onboarding. On the onboarding, you can use automatically onboarding. You put, for example, the number of the register of commerce. Everything is auto-completed. You don't have to do the manual work. You go further, you do invoicing, and okay, if there is a change in the company, the change is done automatically because you have put the company monitoring, and so on and so on. You go further.
Yeah, it's a very good example of Luxembourg's digitization. It's basically automating the low added value task of manually collecting data, and you're focusing your efforts and allowing your clients to focus on the analysis, the high added value part of the job.
So you can say on the platform accelerator that we have, you have some topics. You have the classic credit reports that was the core business in the past, but still is. But on that we are adding some added value services, like a portfolio. You take your portfolio clients, you put it in the program, the platform, and we do an analysis on it, a risk analysis to say, okay, that company, pay attention because we see that the payment history that we have is not so good, so you have to pay attention. And portfolio analysis. You have compliance for companies that have to do it. So you have a lot of services available on the platform.
Yeah, and I imagine the more data you have, the more you learn about patterns. It's a bit like this AI model where the higher the sample, the more predictive your analysis can
And
be.
another point is very important is that, okay, we are working today on Luxembourg. Okay, we combine local intelligence because we are somewhere a data owner. We know what we are collecting. We know the market very well. And we combine it with global data of 200 countries. So it permits you to create some linkages, to know who's behind the company and to go further.
Exactly.
Globally, not only on the company, but also on the directors. You have the history. You can see, okay, that director was in a company that in the past went bankrupt, for example. Gives you an indication, and very, very rich information that can drive and help you taking decisions.
And I can conclude on a very interesting similarity. You know, I use a lot LinkedIn, and you know, some clients are on LinkedIn and they don't want to share anything, but it's an illusion, because if you crawl the whole of LinkedIn, you find this person and you can reconstruct its network of connections.
Yeah, but okay, with the help of our database, you can also do it somewhere.
Exactly.
You can see linkages and linkage with companies. And you see, that company is board director in that company, so you have a link there, and you say, you see the economic issue, tissue in French, but okay, I don't know the word.
The fabric.
Yeah, you see the linkages and so on and so on, and that is what we didn't have in the past when I worked at Editus. We had only the Luxembourgish database, and we had not it's a small
international context.
It's, and that's very important. It's very important.
Perfect. So this is Johan Bierebeeck from GraydonCreditsafe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.